I don't want to get upset at this. I don't think anybody should be upset at this news that supposedly broke yesterday and now is gaining more and more momentum today. I don't know why anybody would be upset with this news, because this is something that I think we all realized is going to happen eventually. As soon as Vince sold the WWE to Ari Emanuel and Endeavor, and TKO was born, we all kind of knew that this day would come. We hoped that it never came, but we all knew that this day eventually would become a reality. WrestleMania. Where's it going to be? In Vegas. We got at least one more Vegas WrestleMania to get through. But I'm talking about after Las Vegas. What about WrestleMania 43? What about 2027? Supposedly, the rumor is it is already a done deal, and the announcement is imminent because they can't contain themselves over there in Saudi Arabia. WrestleMania 43 will indeed be taking place in Jeddah, supposedly, Saudi Arabia. WrestleMania 43 is going international for the first time ever. I got the latest from Sean Ross Sapp and Fightful Select. I got the latest from Dave Meltzer. I know that there are going to be a lot of engagement farmers and fake outrage over this. But once again, let me reiterate, everybody knew this was going to happen. None of you should be surprised. We'll talk about it today on Off the Script. It is your Thursday, September 11th, 2025. First and foremost, before we get anything out there as far as this topic and this news story of WrestleMania in Saudi Arabia, if you or your family or anyone that you know has been affected since that very day on 9/11, my thoughts, my prayers, and my condolences all go out to you. I know it's a day of reflection. I know it is the worst day in American history. It is just an awful situation. I have had family that has suffered the ramifications of 9/11. My grandpa and my dad, while they were working over in Brooklyn, saw the entire thing happen. I remember my dad did not get home until at least 11 p.m. that night, and he is usually somebody that was home around 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, so it took him forever to get home. So if you guys have been affected or have suffered the ramifications of that very day all those years ago, my thoughts, my prayers, and my condolences go out to you guys today. This is coming from Fightful Select. Sean Ross Sapp followed up on it because there was smoke to the fire of people talking about Saudi Arabia. They can't contain themselves. In a TikTok video or an Instagram reel, I don't know what it was, one of those websites. The main man over in Saudi Arabia, Turkai Al-Sheikh, he posted that WrestleMania is indeed coming to Saudi Arabia in 2027 in a Snapchat video. He believed the elites over in Saudi Arabia using Snapchat videos to get their excitement out. Al-Sheikh said, WrestleMania has been announced for the first time ever outside of America. WrestleMania in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia in 2027. Now, Fightful Select followed up with this, and Sean Ross Sapp immediately reached out to WWE in an official capacity, and obviously they have not responded yet. One WWE higher-up said, where there's smoke, there's fire, without outright confirming it. They claim that Triple H's comments about inspiring change this week may have prefaced an incoming announcement. Yes, WWE changing the game over in a country that they should not even be doing any business in. PW Insider reported that there was a press release that went out and was pulled. This led to a lot of media reaching out and saying that they hadn't received such a thing. But based on what we were told, says Fightful, it was a press release in Arabic and did not go out to English-speaking media. Those that we've spoken to familiar with the situation expect 3 events in Saudi Arabia next year. The Royal Rumble in January, which is already confirmed, and then May and November shows that we have reported, says Fightful. We're not sure if this has affected any of the existing schedule. Saudi officials have made their desire known to have a WrestleMania in the country very clear since virtually starting the relationship with WWE. Earlier this year, Fightful was told that there had been wheels in motion to have WrestleMania in Saudi with the possibility of a super WrestleMania or other kinds of branding. The belief internally was that the company was looking to establish WrestlePalooza branding immediately as an important deal, and that was a way to help spread out major global events and land more site fees and create events that locations were willing to bid on. Those that we spoke to claim there is an announcement planned for this week that was scheduled for Friday in Las Vegas. This week, Vegas. WWE is going to be in Vegas this Friday because they're holding Worlds Collide on September 12th. That is tomorrow, Vegas, 10 p.m. Eastern, streamed on YouTube. This would make, since with TKO promoting Terrence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez in Vegas, sponsored by Riyadh Season. Now, I'm going to read to you what Dave Meltzer said. And I don't know how much information Dave Meltzer is privy to. I don't know what he knows. I don't know what is factual and what is not. But I want to think that Dave Meltzer is kind of on point here. And I genuinely think he is. And that's coming from me that questions everything. Obviously, with the news of WrestleMania in Saudi Arabia in 2027, Dave Meltzer and the Wrestling Observer shed some light on the plans that the Saudi partners want and have for the event. According to Dave Meltzer, they are really working hard, to secure a number of high-profile matches for the show, and money is no object in their pursuit of the biggest names in wrestling history, including those who are currently retired. The 2027 date for the event marks the 300th anniversary of the founding of the first Saudi state. The Saudi General Entertainment Authority, led by Turki Al-Sheikh, is reportedly determined to make the event the most star-studded show ever by far. Now, Dave Meltzer detailed the plans for the show on the Wrestling Observer. He says they're paying the money for it, and they have matches that they want, and they're really working hard to get. I don't know if they're going to be able to get them, but they're going to spend a lot of money to get what they want. Yes, we're talking about anyone coming out of retirement that wants to come out of retirement of a big name value will get paid a lot of money for this show. The report suggests that any retired legend who is interested in coming back would likely be contacted about appearing on the show. I would presume all of those people would be contacted, says Meltzer, and the ones who want to do it will be able to do it. The ones who have any interest in a great payday, they'll be able to get on that show. This opens the door to a number of dream matches that fans have been clamoring for years. He then goes on to detail how WWE could realistically hold not one, but two WrestleManias in 2027. He noted that one of the ideas being floated is to have two WrestleMania events in 2027. He says, I presume it's the only WrestleMania of that year, but when I first heard one of the ideas was to do two WrestleManias, so that keeps it in the Americas, in the United States, the American fans won't be upset about the Saudi Arabia one happening, says Dave Meltzer. He added that the belief of the public outrage over WWE's partnership with Saudi Arabia has lessened in recent years, which may make a single international WrestleMania more acceptable to the fan base. He says, this WrestleMania hosted in Saudi Arabia is Turki Al-Sheikh, and they're putting up an incredible amount of money, a ridiculous amount of money. The idea is to present the most star-studded show ever, by far. Everyone, anyone, money is no object. Any name you can imagine, obviously, they're going to go after. WWE, according to Meltzer, also had to change their plans as WWE was set with one set of plans, and this WrestleMania in Saudi now has disrupted those plans. Meltzer explained the situation on The Observer and said, WWE wanted WrestleMania in Saudi in 2028. They had commitments for 2027. The reason it had to be in 2027, Turkai Al-Sheikh is running the show. Ari Emanuel is the head of TKO. Nick Khan is the head of WWE. Dana White is the head of UFC. Dana White and Nick Khan are the head of TKO Boxing. However, the final boss is Turkai because he's the guy with all the money in the world at his disposal. There's no fake outrage here, folks. There's no fake outrage, and there should be no fake outrage from anybody on social media. If you see it, it is merely subpar actors acting for engagement, and they have no other joy in life to complain, and they have no other way of making income but scraping at the bottom of the barrel for Twitter's fucking cheap payouts. Everybody that watches the WWE product for years has seen WWE go to Saudi Arabia. We have all at least come up with one notion, one thought, one theory. What if WWE eventually takes WrestleMania to Saudi Arabia? Just based on the fact of what WWE is paying, or Saudi Arabia rather, is paying WWE, what WWE is generating revenue-wise from this country for these mere B-level shows. It's anywhere in the ballpark of 50 to 100 million per show over in Saudi Arabia. Imagine what WWE would get for a WrestleMania. If a fucking crown jewel can generate anywhere between 50 and $100 million for WWE, we're talking about close to $1 billion for WWE. Easy. For WrestleMania there. Easy. We're talking about $500 million to $1 billion easy. These people would pay for a WrestleMania. It is okay to be disappointed. This is the current state of WWE. They don't care. They don't care. I don't believe I'm going to actually say something positive about him. But Vince McMahon would never sell WrestleMania out in the way TKO is planning to sell WrestleMania out to the Saudis. Vince McMahon's entire livelihood is WrestleMania. WrestleMania is what put WWE on the map. WrestleMania is what made WWE a household entity. WrestleMania is what gave the greatest stars of this sport a foundation to forever forge their legacies until the day this earth no longer exists. Vince McMahon would never sell out his greatest property for this bullshit, whatever the fuck this is. So what am I reading here? You mean to tell me we're going to get what? Stone Cold Steve Austin coming out of retirement after he vehemently said, for 19 years, I'm not coming out. And the only person he came out of retirement for was Kevin Owens. So what does this mean? We're going to get The Undertaker walking down the aisle, reliving the dead man gimmick at 60 years old? What does this mean? Shawn Michaels is going to put down his headset down at fucking Performance Center to show up in Saudi and wrestle at 60 years old. The guy could barely fucking walk. The Undertaker had reconstructive knee surgery and has been on record saying he wishes he could go back in time and give everybody one more match. What does this mean? Batista's going to come out of retirement and go back on what he said about retiring and claiming that he was done with pro wrestling. Is Triple H going to wrestle? Guy's got a fucking heart machine in his chest. What exactly does this mean? Are we getting Goldberg, a second retirement of Bill Goldberg? Who else is there that holds any value outside of the names that I mentioned? for this show. Now, I know what everybody's thinking. This is probably where we're going to set the stage for Rock and Roman to finally happen. But this is 2027. We're in 2025. We don't know Rock's movie commitments. We don't know what the rigorous training The Rock is going to have to get into to actually get into a pro wrestling match one-on-one with Roman. We don't know. 2 years from now, he's going to be 2 years older. If anything, the match should have already happened. It should have happened last year. Should have happened the year before that. Now we're talking about waiting another 2 years for a Rock retirement match in Saudi Arabia. WrestleMania as we know it, if this is the announcement that is coming, WrestleMania as we know it is forever tarnished. The value that is WrestleMania monetarily may be fucking unbelievable to someone like this in a country like this. The property that is WrestleMania still will be an attractive offer for whichever city wants to bring this Super Bowl of pro wrestling into their city, into their stadium on any given year. It's going to always be the attraction that Vince McMahon created it to be. But I'm telling you right now, the soul, the essence of what makes WrestleMania important to you, to me, to everybody, to pro wrestling, it's over. It's dead. You sold it out for a cheap, easy payday that will be funded and right into your back. It's the money that Saudi is paying for WWE to bring WrestleMania is already in the WWE vault. It's already in the bank account. You sold out your greatest creation. You sold out the Super Bowl of this beautiful sport to these people who don't give a flying fuck about anything that happens in the WWE on television or with its talent. You sold it out to these people who basically want to create an environment over there that is welcoming for all, and we know it's not. Because nobody with a right fucking brain from this country is going to travel over there to go watch WrestleMania. Nobody. I get people quarterly, every single fucking time we do these Saudi shows. I'm not watching just based on the belief of what I have about the country and the way that they do business. People don't watch. People don't care. People don't get involved with discussion because WWE, like clockwork, every May, every November, is going to Saudi. WWE sold out their greatest creation for these people, for this cheap, easy payday. How does that make WWE look? Nothing in this company is prestigious. Nothing in this company means anything. If WrestleMania, their greatest creation, could so easily be bought and treated as if it's nothing, this company will stoop to no level to sell their own fucking grandmother out to these people. Their own children, their own wives, their own family out to these people. This does not only affect the fans. This does not affect WWE only. This affects all of pro wrestling. None of these other promotions, all these indie promotions, all the conventions, all the festivals and everything that happens around WrestleMania, a lot of people look forward to piggybacking off of WrestleMania in a way that celebrates pro wrestling. Sure, there's money behind everything that everybody does. Sure. It's the biggest weekend, the biggest week of the entire year. WrestleMania descends upon a city and pro wrestling follows. That has been the way forever. You are actively taking money and the sport, the love of the sport of pro wrestling away from fans by bringing WrestleMania over there, because nobody that does what they do every single year for WrestleMania, again, is going to go travel over there. So not only have you affected the fucking prestige that is WrestleMania, have killed the heart and soul that is WrestleMania, killed the WWE vision, you're also harming actively the entire sport of pro wrestling, because you know exactly that everybody else piggybacks off your ride, and you're not going to be able to do that this year if WWE holds one WrestleMania in Saudi in 2027. And if WWE plans to hold 2 WrestleManias, that also actively takes away from the sheer importance that is WrestleMania every single year. WrestleMania is a one-time-a-year event. What does it mean to you and to me if we get 2 WrestleManias? There's nothing that should be labeled WrestleMania that isn't WrestleMania. When WWE first started these Saudi shows, it's as grand as WrestleMania. WrestleMania-like environment. Nothing should ever be compared to WrestleMania, because there is only one, and there should only be one WrestleMania. I don't give a shit. At what point does anything remain pure, real, genuine, prestigious? WrestleMania in Saudi Arabia. If WWE holds a WrestleMania in Saudi Arabia and then actively does a WrestleMania here in the United States, they're actively telling you without telling you that they fucking sold out, and they know they sold out, and they know they took the money and don't give a fuck about WrestleMania. People will turn it around and spin it into a narrative that WWE genuinely cares for the fans, and they want to give the American people what they've always expected every April, and that's WrestleMania. Bro, you've tarnished WrestleMania to a point where you're doing it there and doing it here. It takes away. Why do I want to watch something that's fake and it's not what I expect it to be, and you're only going to do it here? You're telling me that what you're doing there is not WrestleMania. What are we expecting as far as matches on this show? Rock Roman? Steve Austin versus CM Punk? Would that generate excitement? I'm sure that'll generate a little buzz. It's the only way you're going to get people to watch this shit. Who else is there? What type of matches does this guy think he's going to conjure up in Saudi Arabia? Who wants to see The Undertaker wrestle anybody? Have you watched what The Undertaker did last time he was in Saudi Arabia? Do you want to go back and recreate that? This may be the most embarrassing show of all time if this guy gets his way. So you mean to tell me that WWE is going to hold this show in 2027? What does that actively mean for the television show? We as a fan base complain every single fucking year that WrestleMania season doesn't even feel like WrestleMania season. This year is a prime example. WrestleMania season was extended by 3 weeks this year. And WWE dropped the ball almost half of the WrestleMania build going into Las Vegas. You mean to tell me that we got a deal with WWE television even being more lifeless, more without a soul, and more just creatively inept and blank? Because we got to get legends at 60 years old wrestling the fucking active performers that exist on the WWE roster today. What storylines are going to be to build up these matches? How is TV going to look to build up these random dream matches everybody wants so desperately to see? What does that mean for the active roster? So we got to trot all these fucking wheelchair-bound fucking legends out to Monday night and Friday night. What does that mean for the active roster? You don't think they want to be on a WrestleMania? You don't think they want the payday? You think they want to be suppressed on television without getting any TV time potentially at all? Because we got to trot out fucking Kane and Batista John Cena just retired. We're going to bring him out of retirement? Every bit of this sounds fucking awful. Every bit of this sounds fucking awful. One WrestleMania in Saudi, and then another WrestleMania here. Imagine that. Can you imagine 2 WrestleManias in a single fucking year, with this one being a super WrestleMania? Bro, you sold your greatest creation out for a cheap fucking payday for people that don't give a fuck about anything but entertaining themselves and the country of people that they're putting this show on in front of. They don't care what happens on Monday Night Raw. They don't give a fuck about all the young men and women training to be pro wrestlers. They don't care about the active roster with the youth that's on that roster that is looking to make themselves into stars and household names. They don't give a fuck what happens on NXT. They don't give a fuck what happens on Friday Night SmackDown. They don't care. They don't. Why would anybody show the level of care to a normal WrestleMania to this WrestleMania when you hide it behind the Super WrestleMania moniker? It's not WrestleMania. Just like the Royal Rumble, the greatest Royal Rumble, it's not the Royal Rumble. I don't look at that as the Royal Rumble. I don't look at anything that came out of that show as a fucking Royal Rumble. I don't count its statistics towards the Royal Rumble. On that night, nothing that happened on that night factors into the Royal Rumble, which happens in January every single year. It's fake. It's almost as if it never happened. It happened, and WWE got paid royally for it. But you want to sell your greatest show out to these people for this amount of money? At what cost? You got to ask yourself, at what cost is this not worth it? Vince McMahon would have absolutely never. I could be wrong, but Vince McMahon would have never sold WrestleMania out in the way that we are talking about today. You think Vince would do 2 WrestleManias? The Royal Rumble ain't WrestleMania, by the way. Vince put on a greatest Royal Rumble, fine. But WrestleMania? Bro, this is fucking sad. And Jesse and I just talked about this on a much lower spectrum. We talked about Josh Alexander in AEW, claiming that he only joined AEW because this is where the best wrestle and he wanted the best competition. It had nothing to do with the schedule, nothing to do with the money that apparently both companies were offering him. Bro, everybody is a fucking liar. At what point are you going to look yourself in the mirror and say, I'm not being honest with myself? We all know he took the fucking money to join AEW because if it wasn't about the money, he would have joined WWE. He would have joined WWE. He took the money and he took lesser of a career. I know there's a way to say that, but don't lie to me and tell me that you took the AEW contract because you wanted to pro wrestle the best guys. Bro, you took the money and you took the schedule because you're home with your son and your wife more often now. With WWE, you wouldn't be able to do that. It's the same thing that applies here. WWE is going to bring Saudi Arabia over there and they're going to say, oh yeah, we're bringing Saudi Arabia because we factor and we take great pride in factoring into the change of that environment and the change that that country is currently undergoing. Stop bullshitting me, stop lying, and stop acting as if this is the case. It's not. You're bringing WrestleMania to Saudi Arabia and you sold out your father-in-law's greatest creation for the almighty dollar. You don't give a fuck about anything that happens in that country, and everybody's a fucking bold-faced fucking liar. I hate the way business and corporate is run. I do. It's disgusting. It is fucking disgusting. Now we, the fans, have to fucking suffer, and then when we criticize the shit that we're going to be fucking served in 2027, we're not real fans. We complain and bitch and moan and do this and that about everything. Bro, I am I'm a content creator, and I got to give you guys what is there and what's not there. I'm actually looking forward to shitting on this show just because I know the fucking disaster that we're awaiting come 2027. If this guy gets his wish, this may be the worst fucking show in the history of pro wrestling. Can you imagine? Let me know what you guys think about this down below. Again, my tone and my direction in today's video, it comes from a place of disappointment. It truly and genuinely comes from a place of disappointment. Are we surprised? Are you surprised? Am I surprised? No, this is something that we all expected and anticipated. It's a sad day. Sad, sad day for WWE, and this is disgusting. Thank you guys for today's video. If you did enjoy, please hit that thumbs up. Let me know what you think down below. Big topic, sound off. Let me know how you feel. Are you against it? Are you for it? Do you just not care? Are you going to watch or you're not going to watch? Let me know in the comments down below. Hit that thumbs up. Let's try for 1,000 likes today on today's video. And make sure you guys go check out all of the streams on the video or on the homepage. Those archived streams are there. I'm having problems with YouTube right now, man. People can't access the live stream chat after the stream ends. People with YouTube Premium can't download the streams like they used to. I don't know what's going on with YouTube. I've been in discussion with people over at YouTube. I don't know what the fuck's going on. Nobody gives me a solid reason as to why anything's happening. They say just wait it out. So I will give you guys an update on when things get back to normal, but bear with me. It's not me. It's not on my end. It is absolutely 100% on YouTube's end. So if you had problems with the streams the last couple of nights, it is all on YouTube's end. Make sure you guys follow me on social media at JDfromNY206, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo. And please hit that subscribe button down below and turn on the bell to be notified of when I go live and when I upload new content daily. Thank you guys very much, and I'll see you right back here tomorrow night live after Friday Night SmackDown on Off the Script. I'll see you guys later.